Hello, everybody. I've got a little bit of a book haul here, and of course, as soon as I hit record, they all decided to go falling. This is part of the stack. Let's go through this stack first, and then I've got another small stack that I forgot to do last time. Okay, let's do these two bigger ones first. So these all came from the Little Free Library. Or the actual library. I think one or two of them came from, but the actual library has been putting stuff in the Little Free Library, so whatever. So I have Midnight Sea by Colleen Coble. A seemingly random shooting at her aunt's office, I don't say office, at her aunt's coffee farm has left Lani Tagama blind. I'm really having trouble reading this. Now she must learn to navigate in a world of darkness. With the help of an embittered ex-cop, Ben, and a half-trained guide dog, Fisher, Lani discovers she can regain a shadow of her former independence. But strange and dangerous secrets lurk behind the beauty of this seaside paradise. Suspicion grows that this was not a random shooting, but an attempted murder, one with its roots in a hippie commune burned over 30 years ago. Lani realizes she is a target and that she must find the shooter before he strikes again. Well, that sounded pretty interesting. Right up my alley. Then I picked up, and I don't know if I'm ever going to read it, but I picked it up, The Stand by Stephen King. Now, Stephen King is kind of hit or miss for me. I've absolutely loved some of his books, like Misery and Cujo, and a couple others that were just phenomenal. And then there's been a couple that I'm just kind of eh. So kind of hit or miss for me. I don't know if I'm going to like this. Stephen King's apocalyptic vision of a world blasted by plague and entangled in an elemental struggle between good and evil remains as riveting and eerily plausible as when it was first published. A patient escapes from a biological testing facility, unknowingly carrying a deadly weapon, a mutated strain of superflu that will wipe out 99% of the world's population within a few weeks. Those who remain are scared, bewildered, and in need of a leader. Two emerge. Mother Abigail, the benevolent 108-year-old woman who urges them to build a peaceful community in Boulder, Colorado, and Randall Flagg, the nefarious dark man who delights in chaos and violence. As the dark man and the peaceful woman gather power, the survivors will have to choose between them and ultimately decide the fate of all humanity. And it's a doorstop. I mean, this thing's a humongo book with very tiny print. 1,152 pages. So, yeah. That will take a little time to get through, even listening to an audiobook. I've picked up Lisa Jackson's Envious, which this is a little bit bigger than her usual books. 694 pages. So, I mean, another almost doorstop. It's pretty good chunker here. Okay, the back says, Dear Reader, it's always wonderful to return to a favorite place. That's how I feel about Bittersweet, Oregon, the fictional setting for my 1990s trilogy, Forever Family. Now collected here in one volume with a new title, Envious. Okay, so this is a trilogy. I'm delighted to revisit Bittersweet in the company of Bliss, Katie, and Tiffany, three women who've just discovered they are half-sisters. Okay, so this is actually 3 books. A family kind of guy, a family kind of gal, a family kind of wedding. That makes more sense, because her books are usually in the 250 to 300 range, so this being almost 700 pages kind of threw me a little bit. Bliss Cawthorn is John Cawthorn's only legitimate daughter, but her father's wealth has complicated matters. Mason Lafferty believed he wasn't good enough for the boss's daughter and broke Bliss's heart after saving her life. Yet now he's back in Bittersweet, determined to make her trust him again. Tiffany Santini is widowed and struggling to raise 2 children after a car accident. That doesn't mean she needs interference from her powerful brother-in-law. And Katie Kincaid is too busy wrangling her rambunctious son to get involved with the enigmatic cowboy next door. Then there's the mystery at the heart of Bittersweet, the recent disappearance of an elderly local, Isaac Wells, who has vanished without a trace, casting a dark cloud over all their lives. Join me in Bittersweet as these 3 very different, independent women try to escape the shadows of their pasts. And then it's signed Lisa Jackson. So, I guess this is 3 books in 1. Good to know. I've read some of her more thrillery type books. Here's another Stephen King. We have Hearts in Atlantis. Again, I already mentioned I kind of hit or miss when it comes to Stephen King. Although it is difficult to believe, the 60s are not fictional. They actually happened. No matter the format, Stephen King's work is spellbinding because the author himself is spellbound. The first hugely popular writer of the TV generation, King published his first novel, Carrie, in 1974, the year before the last U.S. troops withdrew from Vietnam. Images from that war and protests against it had flooded America's living rooms for nearly 10 years. In Hearts in Atlantis, King mesmerizes readers with fiction deeply rooted in the 60s and explores, through 4 defining decades, the haunting legacy of the Vietnam War. As the characters in Hearts in Atlantis are tested in every way, King probes and unlocks the secrets of his generation for us all. Full of danger, full of suspense, and most of all, full of heart, Stephen King's new book will take some readers to a place they have never been, and others to a place they have never been able to leave completely. Interesting. I didn't know what that one was about, so there we go. And I picked up one called Hot Tickets by J.W. Ryder. Boa constrictors, broads, killer giants. Welcome to the land of Malone, P.I. It's a Jersey world of chop shops, bars, Springsteen, gambling, family men, and murder. Malone feels right at home. A 6'9" professional wrestler is receiving death threats while his manager boosts Cadillac fenders on the side. A stripper named Narcissa is a daytime seminary student. That's an interesting combination. Until she walks into a mob killing. For Malone, it's the greatest show on earth, until someone starts coming after him. From Atlantic City to Manhattan, from a health-conscious hitman to professional wrestling's underbelly, Malone has too much guts and not enough sanity to say no to crime. He's trying to unravel a case of blackmail gone wrong and stay alive in a world where tough guys are the first to die. Apparently, the author is the winner of the Shamus Award from the Private Eye Writers of America. So maybe it's good. I don't know. I haven't heard of that particular author. We have Discovering You by Brenda Novak. It's a Whiskey Creek novel. Can she ever trust another bad boy? India Summers once had the perfect family until an ex-boyfriend broke in and shot her husband. Not only did that cost her the man she loved, a respected heart surgeon and father of her child, but she also feels responsible. Charlie died because of the people she hung out with before she had the strength to change her life. Just after moving to Whiskey Creek with her little girl, Cassia, to start over, she's learned that her ex-boyfriend's trial ended in a hung jury. He's getting out of jail. He could try to find her again. And that's not all that scares her. She's extremely attracted to her next-door neighbor, but Rod Amos is the handsome bad boy type that's given her so much trouble in the past. If she got involved with him, her in-laws would sue for custody of Cassia. India has to keep her distance from Rod, but the more she gets to know him, the more difficult that becomes. Interesting. And this one, my brother probably has a copy of it, but I picked it up in case he didn't. It's The Killer Angels by Michael Shara. It's a Civil War novel. The 4 most bloody and courageous days of our nation's history, 2 armies fought for 2 dreams. One dreamed of freedom, another of a way of life. Far more than rifles and bullets were carried into battle. There were memories, there were promises, There was love, and far more than men fell on those Pennsylvania fields. Shattered futures, forgotten innocence, and crippled beauty were also the casualties of war. The Killer Angels is a unique, sweeping, unforgettable, dramatic recreation of the battleground for America's destiny. So this is basically set at Gettysburg. Gettysburg is an interesting place to visit. It's been, over 30 years since I've been there. But I was really impressed with the place. It was lovely countryside, tons of history. Everywhere you look, there's another museum. Fascinating stuff. Gettysburg College was really nice. I was there for a yearbook thing, yearbook camp. So I stayed on campus for a week, and Gettysburg College was pretty nice. And then my parents and brother came, they dropped me off, and then they came back and picked me up, and we toured around Gettysburg for a little bit. So really, it's a nice place. And they really care about preserving the history. Or at least they did then. I would say they probably still do. But yeah, very interesting. This is one my son picked up. Star Wars: The Adventure Continues. As Return of the Jedi ends, an exciting new saga begins. The Truce at Bakura? It's got Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and Princess Leia on the front. Of course, you can't really see the guys because that's where they put their little barcode and then scribbled it out. As Return of the Jedi ends, the best-selling Star Wars saga continues in this spellbinding adventure that brings to life George Lucas's dazzling universe and his beloved movie characters. In The Truce at Bakura, the Rebel Alliance struggles to survive the fateful days following the events in Return of the Jedi. No sooner has Darth Vader's funeral pyre burned to ashes on Endor than the Alliance faces a new challenge at the far-flung Imperial outpost of Bakura. The Cyruk? I'm probably saying it wrong. I don't know that much Star Wars stuff. A race of cold-blooded reptilian invaders plan to enslave human minds to pilot their invincible machines of war and destruction, with the hope of turning Bakura's loyalties toward the fledgling New Republic with defensive aid. Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and Princess Leia race to the besieged planet. Yet, as the eve of the final onslaught rapidly approaches, Rebel and Imperial forces still must come to terms with each other, and there is already evidence of a traitor hidden in their midst. Is that Obi-Wan on the back? And a couple of the ships. Anyway, a Star Wars book that I don't know anything about. Now, these are the ones I forgot to talk about last time because they were sitting off to the side in a bag, and I was like, what's in that bag? Oh, I should have put those in the last book haul. So these are from the dollar store. And I kind of feel like I probably already have this one in my Christmas stuff, but I wasn't sure at the time when I bought it, and I still haven't checked. But I have the 12 Days of Dash and Lily. I have checked out Dash and Lily's Book of Dares and Mind the Gap Dash and Lily from the library, so hopefully I will get through these soon. I have a cookbook, Cooking Lights Pasta Tonight. I have a book called Acid Trip, Travels in the World of Vinegar, with recipes from leading chefs, insights from top producers, and step-by-step instructions on how to make your own. So basically a vinegar-based cookbook. And then I have 5 Ways to Cook Asparagus and Other Recipes, the Art and Practice of Making Dinner. So if you have paid much attention to me over time, you know that I like cookbooks. So there we go. We have some cookbooks. We have lots of fiction of various types. Stay in the pile. Gee whiz, stop falling over. Sheesh. Books are misbehaving. Anyway, that's the book haul for now. I would talk about the manga, but I already did that in the Manga Spice book haul thingy unboxing. There is another one on its way. It has been shipped, so hopefully it will get here, and maybe next weekend I can do the Manga Spice again. That seemed to be fairly popular. I haven't had time to read the books yet. Like I said, work has been keeping me busy, and I'm not getting very much reading done. So maybe I can get some of those books read. Manga ought to actually be fairly quick to read. Most of them aren't very long, so maybe I'll get those done. We'll see what comes in the new box. There should be 3 manga and a bunch of snacks. And that it should be getting here in within the next week or so, because it has been shipped. And what else do I have? I still need to do my TBR game. Oh, I could show you all the goodies I got at the store. My little booze haul. Makes me sound like a drunk or something, but I really don't drink that often. Should I add that onto here? Probably should have put it on my tea haul, actually. But I've already recorded that and uploaded it, so I guess I could do it here. I got 10 little bottles because the thing said, 10 for 10. But I found out later that that wasn't entirely accurate. So I ended up with 2 tiny bottles of Southern Comfort, 2 tiny bottles of Fireball, and those really were $1 a piece. I have Dr. McGillicuddy's Irish Whiskey with Natural Flavors, Dr. McGillicuddy's Intense Apple Pie. Now this one was only 50 cents. If I would have known that, I would have picked up 2 of them, because I think apple pie sounds like it's going to taste pretty darn good. A couple of these were only 99 cents instead of $1, but I mean, in the long run, that's the same thing, right? Here's Calypso Coconut Rum. I drink a lot of pineapple juice, so I would imagine if I add a little bit of the coconut rum, it's going to taste like a pina colada. Just a guess. Ryan's Irish Style Cream Liqueur. So probably similar to Bailey's, but with a different name. Barton Long Island Iced Tea, ready to drink, just add ice. Now Long Island doesn't even say what all's in it. It's a little bit of everything. Made with a blend of rum, tequila, vodka, gin, triple sec, and caramel color. Usually they get that little bit of color by putting like a splash of Coca-Cola in it, but whatever. And then this one, Sheepdog Peanut Butter Whiskey. So I'm curious, peanut butter whiskey? And at the bottom, it's 42 woof instead of proof. Of course, they then like put a little red slash across the W and put PR above it. So it's cute. I don't know if you can see. That cracked me up. Yeah, you can kind of see it. It's hard to read, especially with that glare going across it. There, maybe you can see it better that way. Anyway, this one was $1. And then the Ibotta app had the 50 milliliter bottle, which is this little tiny bottle, $1 back for it. So basically this one ended up free because I got my $1 back. So yeah, that's my little booze haul. I was having fun. It'll probably take forever for me to get through it all because I really don't drink that much. I mean, I still have my bottle of Jameson's that I bought last year for St. Patrick's Day, and it's one of these size bottles. It's still sitting over here unopened. I was going to drink it this year, and then I wasn't home on St. Patrick's Day. Oh, well. I also, at that point in time, it was over a year ago because it was before St. Patrick's Day, I bought a 3-pack of the little mini Baileys. I still have one of those because I used one for cooking and one I used when I made hot chocolate one night. So I still have one of those. And then I still have probably 3/4 of the bottle of the Crystal Skull vodka that I bought just because I like the bottle. And it's the small bottle. So, yeah. Not much of a drinker. Anyway, I guess I shall let you go. I mean, this is 20 minutes in. I've already talked about the books. I've talked about booze. What else do I need to talk about? Eh. So remember to do all the fun YouTube things. Comment, like, share, subscribe, ring the bell icon. If you want to be notified of future uploads and videos and what have you. I think that's everything. So I guess you'll see me in the next one. Bye-bye.